Peter, and I was diagnosed with autism several years ago. Not several years ago, just a few years ago. Peter, come on. Hi everyone, my name is Peter, and welcome. I was diagnosed with autism just a few years ago, and I just recently celebrated my 50th birthday. So that's a lifetime of having autism and not realizing that I had autism. And so for me, what I want to talk about today is autism acceptance, but what I want to talk about is personal autism acceptance. That over the last few years, I've gone through this process where I've become more aware of my autistic tendencies and autistic problems. And one of them, for example, is talking out loud, videotaping myself. This is actually really hard. The number of times that I've started and stopped this video has been really amazing. But it's one thing to be aware of your autistic tendencies, and it's another thing to accept them. So you need to, for example, long before I was aware that I had autism, I was aware that I had a lot of problems with executive functioning. It took me a lot of work to get things done, and I had to build sort of an elaborate system of calendars and to-do lists and reminders and ticklers to get things done. But I managed to build a system that enabled me to overcome that deficit. So there was awareness of the problem there, but the next step is acceptance. And the next step is accepting that autistic trait as just a part of you, and it's not positive or negative, it's just a part of you, and it's something that you have to accommodate. And so I grew up up into my 50s here. So I went through life, most of my life, feeling that my inability to get things done was a personal moral failing of mine. And even though I came up with a system to overcome it, I still did not feel good about the fact that it was so hard for me to do things. And it's only just recently that I've learned to accept these things. Like, I've learned to accept the fact that it's hard for me to talk out loud. I've learned to accept the fact that it's terrifying to videotape myself and to look at my face. I've accepted that and try not to feel bad about that. And that would be, when we're talking about autism in the community and spreading awareness of what autism is, it's got to start with yourself, and you have to be, if you are autistic, you have to accept yourself for who you are. And if you can't accept yourself for who you are, how can you expect them to accept you for who you are? Ooh, that was combative.